stunning looks than swift.
Defending champions England, or is that attacking champions England, have got their World Cup campaign back on track. We're here on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPNcricinfo Match Day, and I'm joined by Aaron Finch and Anil Kumble. Aaron, so England had that big win over Bangladesh. Can we expect a similarly aggressive performance against Afghanistan?
I think with England, you never got any doubts about how they're going to play. I think they would have been shocked by that first game against New Zealand and bounced back really well. So expect them to come out all guns blazing. I think the way that Joss Buttler is leading the team is very similar to the philosophies of Owen Morgan, and they ride it hard, and when they get momentum, they're hard to stop.
And then the venue they're playing at, Delhi, we saw for both the South Africa-Sri Lanka and the Indian-Afghanistan game, very high run scoring ground. That are you surprised, Anil, first of all, with that?
No, I think Delhi, if it's a flat wicket, it's really tough on the bowlers. Early in the season, they've left a bit of grass, so that certainly has helped the batters to get into really great form there. It's not easy for the bowlers. It's a small ground, and that it becomes that much more harder to stop the batter when in full flow. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a run feast. I mean, England will be certainly looking forward to batting on that surface. They had a good game against Bangladesh at Dharamshala, which is again a smallish ground. So in that sense, I think England will certainly look to get 2 points against Afghanistan.
So if England are looking forward to batting, they're obviously looking forward to batting first, right? And would you think that's the way they'll go?
Yeah, I think that's the way they'll go if they have a choice. And if Ben Stokes comes back in, perhaps that's an ideal scenario for them for him to come into the World Cup against Afghanistan.
And if Ben Stokes is fit and comes back in, Aaron, who is he likely to replace in that lineup? Because it's a tough call.
That is a really tough call. I think the way that the England middle order have played over the last couple of years without Stokes in there has been really impressive. So I actually have no idea which way they would lean in that selection debate, and it'd be a really tough call whoever they did decide to leave out.
Can I throw Harry Brook in as a potential to sit out? What would you say to that?
Oh, again, tough call. Maybe they would lean that way purely for the fact that they left him out of the squad just before the World Cup and then went back in with him. So maybe he can be so dangerous, and I think Stokes is a left-hander, especially against Afghanistan's Rashid, whose numbers against left and right-handers is so contrasting. Maybe they would go that way, but brutal whichever way they go.
Yeah, we're going to come to Rashid Khan in a moment. Anil, let's first look at the England spin component. Do you think Moeen Ali could sneak away? And we've already named like that there's a third team, basically.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, maybe not in Delhi because of the conditions there. We saw, it's going to be a batter's paradise, and maybe Moeen Ali may miss out on that. And if you saw, even in Dharamshala, they opted for a fast bowler to come in, which was Reece Topley, and of course he created an impact straight away. So I feel that the same team would play unless Ben Stokes is available.
And then would you say Harry Brook sits out?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the obvious choice. I don't think they'll leave out Livingston. That's the other option, but I don't think so. Livingston is a very key member, not just with the bat, but also he can give you a few overs with the ball. So I think the likely sort of swap would be a Harry Brook.
Okay. Let's move to Afghanistan, who I would say will be disappointed with the start they've had to the tournament. Tough opposition, but they haven't really come to the party yet. Aaron, do you think this is an opportunity for them or just a bridge too far?
I think, honestly, it's a bridge too far, but they could ruffle some feathers as well. I think they've got some skill with the brand new ball. They can swing that ball around. If they happen to bowl second, they could do some damage with that new ball, and then you're trying to squeeze with Rashid and Nabi and these guys through the middle. So I think it'll be a bridge too far for him, though.
And then we talked about Rashid Khan. You kind of mentioned him a bit earlier. Anil, there's a lot of spotlight on him. People expect him to show up. Is there something Afghanistan should be doing differently to get the most out of him?
I think for once they'll have to score some runs so that he gets some runs to bowl at, which they did against India, but unfortunately the conditions were tough, and Rohit Sharma was on song. I mean, when he's in that kind of a form and mood, there's no way that any bowler can stop him. That was the challenge. So he needs certainly some wickets which have a little bit of a two-pace, uneven bounce. Then he's dangerous. So maybe not this game again Delhi, perhaps when they go to the next other venues, perhaps Lucknow or Chennai, then because New Zealand, I think, are playing Afghanistan in Chennai.
Yep.
So that could be a game where he could come into his elements if the wicket that we have seen in Chennai, especially when India played Australia, that kind of a surface is available to him, then he can be dangerous.
So that's a bit further down the track, but immediately, would you maybe look at using him earlier in the innings, bowling him in the power play?
Yeah, perhaps. You can change around a little bit based on the conditions, but Rashid is their key bowler. They look at him as a wicket taker and try and build that in. But Fazal Farooqi, Naveen ul Haq have done well for them with the new ball. Mujib generally comes on with the new ball, so they try and keep Rashid to put pressure on a new batter in the middle overs. I don't think Afghanistan will look to change that.
So all eyes on Rashid Khan and Afghanistan. Can they turn up at this World Cup? Thanks for joining us here on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricinfo Match Day. We'll be back with all the action from that game.
Stunning looks, then swift